Our last speaker for today is Francisca Lawson Tetevi. She's the Graduate Research Assistant, Department of Child, Youth and Family Studies at University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and she will speak about empowering young academic voices, IFFD working groups shaping the Second World Summit for Social Development. And here I would like to thank International Federation for Family Development and Alex Vasquez for this initiative and for facilitating Francisca's participation in this panel. Francisca, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. I'm so grateful to be here as a youth researcher on this panel with this amazing panelists to share on behalf of 44 young researchers from 18 countries who have been working together on bringing up policy recommendations where we can center families in our agenda to achieving sustainable development goals. And most of these researchers are from, they are from 18 countries, so Argentina, Belgium, Brazil, Cameroon, Ecuador, France, Greece, Italy, Kenya, Lebanon, Mexico, Mongolia, Nepal, Nigeria, Saudi Arabia, Spain, Uganda, United Kingdom, and the United States. So if your country is not in, then this is a call for you to encourage your youth to participate. So for this presentation, we came up with 10 recommendations, but I'm going to highlight it in 3 big categories and to see ways that we can center youth voices, and as we go into the second World Summit for Social Development and the policies that we come up with. And so as youth, we want to play active roles in transforming the world into a fairer, welcoming and safer place for all families, regardless of what type of family it is, whether it's single parent families or like traditional families, whatever case it is, we want to make sure we contribute to that progress. And here, so the first category of recommendations that we came about is how, looking at the broader community level, how do we center families into these policies? So we believe that if we empower families and youth as well to be involved and engaged in their communities, if we encourage families to be seen and feel belonged and appreciated and cared for and considered for their value in ensuring that we develop our communities and our countries. So the first one will look at urban planners, like mayors and city planners. How do we center families' needs into our development and things we are doing? We will encourage that cities adopt family-centered zoning laws where we reserve spaces, housing opportunities that encourage multi-generational families living together. And also, like, we want it to be close to schools, resources, like grocery stores, healthcare services. We want families to be able to have these basic needs as well. And we also want to encourage pedestrian-friendly infrastructures where there's like playgrounds, families can take children to play. They can be intergenerational community centers that foster social cohesion as well. And also public transport, encouraging people to have bike lanes, have accessible, disability wheelchair accessible parks, and noise-reduced housing as well. In terms of climate, we want families to be provided with tools. We recommend that families will have tools to engage or to advocate for sustainable practices in their communities. They live in the communities. They know what they are facing. They know the needs they have. So having policies that bring families at the table and helping them that they are valued for, their voices are valued, would also be beneficial in achieving the goals that we have. And also encouraging, when youth feel empowered, they will take initiatives. So how do we also center their voices? By bringing them at the table as well, encouraging, having governments establish youth-led innovation hubs in urban and rural spaces as well, and providing grants. Youth want to do entrepreneurship opportunity. They like engaging, setting up starting businesses or small initiatives. So having grants that will encourage them and push them to, they also know their communities and live in the communities with families. So being able to take up initiatives to do projects that benefit families is also something that we propose. And I'll go on to, in terms of climate, so we propose that school curriculum will also integrate climate literacy models, emphasizing localized impacts, while also vocational trainings to reskill workers for roles in renewable energy and disaster response as well. And also another adaptation strategies that we recommend is to require participatory risk assessment to identify region-specific vulnerabilities, particularly for smallholder families and coastal communities. So just working with families in the journey to be able to share what their experiences are and how we can center those needs as well. And in the next one, we look at the family. When we go to the family level, we want to ensure that significant adults in the families that take up unique roles in terms of providing social and economic, like meeting the needs of the families, are also empowered and are also supported. So, and we also recommend that holistic parenting, like we recommend parenting education for parents as well to learn about developmental milestones, learn about age appropriate like discipline, positive discipline, also give them skills and education on like nutrition, child well-being, and also to be able to support the future, which is the young children, youth as well. And also we recommend that publicly funded universal parenting education so that parents, if they have like they are from low socioeconomic backgrounds, they don't see it as a barrier to take part in this program, but it's available for every family, every significant adult or parents or guardians, regardless of their background, to participate without stigma as well. And also another thing that I'm very passionate about is campaigns to highlight media spotlight on male caregivers to challenge gendered stereotypes, and it also links to unpaid care work to ensure that care work is not just for women or it's not for just a particular gender, but also provide, and youths are very active in this, know a lot about technology. So creating policies and initiatives that encourage you to take up these spaces and promote advertise, have these campaigns to destigmatize the role of unpaid care work as well. And also encourage employees to also provide on-site daycare and to encourage parents that have young children to be able to have spaces where they can take care of their children while they also contribute to work. So that's also another recommendations we have. And also, we also recommend that governments should integrate responsive caregiving interventions into national healthcare systems, ensuring parents receive guidance on nurturing practices. So we don't want health to just be focused on medicine or medical, the traditional, it should move beyond that and look at other aspects of like child development in terms of nutrition, education, social, emotional well-being, as well as anything, any age appropriate, and with the age of the technology, also looking at age appropriate stimulation as well, like giving that whole holistic education on how to parent young children as well. And for the last one, I look at key populations, and with that, I look at early childhood. And I know some countries are doing well with having policies around like childcare, quality childcare, where they have affordable, you can have subsidies and things that you can take children to school, and early childhood educators too are also trained and provided with skills and support as well. But we recommend that as we look at the second world, we think about social development, we should look at policies around nurturing care guidelines, make sure that early learning frameworks must align with the guidelines we've set, and mandating caregiver training for like other professionals that work with young children as well. And we also want to embed developmental milestones into national curriculum. So any professional that works with young children should be also educated about the unique milestones children have. And also other countries should also learn. I know like with sub-Saharan Africa, and there's still a challenge with early childhood education care. Most of them are focused on primary care education, and they leave out the early years, which are fundamental to the future generation that we want to build. So that's one. Another key population is, it's not on the slide, but it's about youth as well. We want to recommend that mental health support must be integrated into youth employment services, and also offering subsidized counseling and peer mentorship network to address workplace anxiety. Know that as youth, sometimes when we go into jobs, we are worried and scared, and so just having that support to feel empowered, feel that we are coming to the space. Maybe we might not know how the jobs or the workplace work, but having that support system to that we believe in you and will encourage you to take the steps. So just having that support is very beneficial. And another one area we recommend is healthy aging, and this, like, we also recommend age-friendly cities should implement universal accessibility audits like recurring ramps, crosswalks, and bench density standards in public spaces as well. We also encourage intergenerational volunteer programs, and also with aging adult wanting, with the age of digital technology, want to have opportunities where youth can support older adults, learn how to use phones, smartphones, and all those, how to access healthcare services, and also all social services programs on smartphones as well. And the last one is for immigrant families. We also want to encourage to streamline reunification process where we have multiple language chat box requiring applicants to send their documents, also process time, to encourage that families that are coming from backgrounds that don't speak English are also recognized in those spaces as well. So these are just a few recommendations that I try to squeeze in the short time I have, but there's more with IFFD, and we hope to have it available when you want to read it as well. And so once again, thank you, everyone. I'm grateful to have this opportunity, and thanks.
Thank you very much, Francisca, for those excellent recommendations and for voicing the opinions of youth and that research group that you created. Thank you so much. So we have about 10 minutes for questions and answers. Please be so kind to introduce yourself, your organization, and identify the speaker you would like to answer the question. Oh, Alex.
Well, thank you, Renata, for on behalf of UNDES organizing this observance year after year. You know, it gets a lot of effort to do it. And well, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm Alex Vasquez from the International Federation for Family Development. And after 5 years and even more of preparing the celebration of the 30th anniversary of the International Year of the Family, we have conveyed many policy recommendations based on evidence and on the ground. And as the theme of this observance says, we look now ahead of the World Summit on Social Development. And I think we, as IFFD and many others here that have contributed to that process, as we know, we feel more prepared than ever to face, I would say, a decade or decades of implementation. Implementing all those recommendations and facing the World Summit on Social Development, I would put like 3 key areas. One is care and support systems, the other one, new technologies, and the third one, I would say, mental health. That could definitely encompass all your contributions here today. And as IFFD, we put to your service all the network of parents in 68 countries, our alliance of local governments engaged in the well-known Venice Declaration, and our collaboration with young academics, here, as you've seen, Francisca, thank you, and the private sector as well, here represented due to our representatives from the IFFD Foundation, Balbina and David. Thank you for being here. So we definitely want to build this global, robust, and multi-stakeholder platform for positive social change. And regarding that, I'll finish with a question. What would be, for the panelists, one key recommendation towards the World Summit on Social Development that you want to highlight or feature for November?
Okay, maybe let's start answering the questions. Who would like to start with the question from Alex about the Second World Summit and the main issue?
I think it's very important. I think I'm going to answer based on the review I made, because I saw many promising strategies or policies, family policies, oriented policies that sometimes are slow, or they are not, they do not survive. Let's put it that way. And I think it's because many of the initiatives that have been taken are isolated. They are only focused on families, how preparing parents, but they don't take into account all these contexts that I think is crucial. How are the? That's why I would emphasize to answer to Alex and also to Juan Antonio is we have to look for these small strategies, even if they are very small, they are beginning, they are the first steps. They have to be linked to other policies, or at least take into account other policies, the economic policies, health policies, that you can include a lot of things into those policies with a family-oriented perspective, or a gender perspective, or a socio-ecological perspective that benefits the families or the children or the youth. So I think we have to work more on that coordination and intersectoral coordination. I think that's very important at the local level, at the federal level, at any level. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosario. I think it was a very good answer. And perhaps someone would tackle the question about the local level participation. I think that, Vivian, you've worked on local level. Maybe you can give your perspective.
For this question, I would say I totally agree that the multi-sector joint hands is the key to do. But maybe we can put also crystallize into three contexts. One is learning, how we can promote multi-generational, intergenerational, cross-generational learning from each other, between each other, mutually learn, or learning in one context. That means our school can open to older adults, our university for third age can open for young people, so make it not age segregated, but the age inclusive in terms of that. And the second context, of course, it is earning, that is working. How we can promote more intergenerational, multi-generational workforce, because now, due to the aging population, we would have 5 maybe generations in one company or one workforce. So we will have young people be the leader and old people be the subordinate, or vice versa. So how we can promote more in terms of that. And the third context, of course, is about living. How we can promote more about this living apart but togetherness. So create a community that we really can promote the intergenerational solidarity. From this angle, I hope that we can push more towards scale up the practices and also the policies to promote family well-being. Yeah. Thank you.
Francisca, go ahead.
In terms of the local level, I know other the opportunity to learn from other local communities as well. What are they doing that's successful, and how can we learn from it, and how can we adapt those to our communities as well? Like making sure that it's culturally appropriate for our communities, but we want to learn what is working and use that in our communities. And also working with other people, so like researchers or like other professionals that are in the field or in the area that you want to support your community with. So encouraging that multi-sectoral working together, and also learning from the success from other communities as well.
Relating to Alex's question about recommendation, actually I included one in my presentation, that for single parents, children and families, there is no global minimum standard. So if we take a look at different countries, we see that in one country they get help, support, they have, they are recognized as someone who needs some extra special help. In other countries, these families are sometimes not even considered families. Sometimes they are just called one-parent households. We are not households, we are families. So I think having this global minimum standard is something that we should start from because it would be crucial.
I would like to conclude that the Second World Summit for Social Development will serve as a pivotal platform for dialogue, cooperation, and joint solutions. And it will convene governments, international organizations, the UN system, civil society, cooperatives, academia, the private sectors, and the experts to strengthen international cooperation for inclusive social development. I believe that now, more than ever, we truly need a strong commitment to social progress, and the upcoming summit presents us with an opportunity to give the new momentum to the implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And as noted in this meeting, we are convinced that family-oriented and family-friendly policies and programs can contribute to the achievement of many sustainable development goals and building of a more inclusive and sustainable societies where all families thrive and no family is left behind. Thank you so much for your attendance, support, and participation, and happy International Day of Families. Thank you.